Yeah, that's how it be though. You know, the sad part is when this song came out, I remember my brother had a green 80 something Cutlass, and he had gave me the TRU double album. And this was the first song that drew my attention. Free Codes. This is crazy. I don't know. I was a jit too, so you know, but I appreciate the song and I love Mia X. She ain't even shaking her ass for no Negroes. You know, niggas be getting sprung off the pussy lips quick. Man, look, Mia X, boy, god dang.
Truth teller.
Truth teller. Cause you know, cause she really foreshadowed a lot. Cause you know, I don't know about y'all, but like I remember it was like oral sex was real taboo when we was like kids. Cause I remember like in middle school and high school, everybody be talking about, you nasty. And I remember high school, I was eating pussy, like I was sticking my whole face in it, and like niggas. And like Negroes was like, oh, that's nasty. I don't do that. Duh duh. And when I got to college, I felt like I had to jump start on all of them.
I'm so sorry, George. No, see, you taking me too fast today. Like we
just talking. We ain't even started the podcast yet. This is just random banter.
Yeah,
nobody listens to this.
You know she gets excited.
I get so excited. I'm real fuck shit. I be so excited.
George can say the slightest thing about his body part or something he may have done.
He started it.
He lightly raised up against something. She be like, "Ooh, girl."
Y'all remember in high school though. In high school though, like I don't know about for the girls, but for the guys, if dudes found out you was eating pussy, they talk so bad about you back
pussy
then.
Ass nigga.
Okay, so let me put my disclaimer out there because I know Jetta finna talk shit, but that was why I wasn't giving head. Let me tell you something. I was grown as fuck.
Smart girl.
When my homegirl was pregnant, she was pregnant with her second child, and she was like, man, she was married. She was like, man, I'm so glad my husband don't make me get him head while I'm pregnant. I was like, whoa.
She should have learned how to suck a dick earlier. She wouldn't have had 2 kids so young.
What?
It's so much happening. There's so much happening with that. Wait.
I'm gonna tell you who made Coochie mainstream though. Trick Daddy.
Definitely did. He definitely made booty.
Thug.com.
Thug.com. Yeah, he did.
70% of the album.
Yeah.
70% of the album is about eating coochie. And at that point, it's like, well, Tricky Coochie, then it's all right.
Yeah, you know.
That has never been a concern. Like, they was like engaging in the oral things in junior high where I come from.
Well, y'all in the country, so that don't count.
It was not taboo at all.
Everybody's junior high. I just think it wasn't openly discussed.
It was openly
discussed. Really taboo.
Unlike you, Horace, I was not having sex in junior high, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I didn't lose. I did not have my debut until I was 19. Thank you very much.
19, what virginity? Your vagina?
Oh, man.
All of it. All of it. First of all,
I just wanted clarification.
All of it. I didn't do any of it. Listen, I remember I was a junior in high school and I was crying and everything. This dude told me he wanted to eat my pussy and I was
time out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever you have to be catching this podcast. This is a very special episode of GH2 Podcast. Jetta, go ahead and jump back into your rant. We'll come back around. Go ahead and tell us about it. So what he's doing, he's eating the pussy and then what happened?
No, I was so offended. He was like, I want to eat your pussy. And I was like, ew, who are you talking to, buddy? Like I was
so not buddy.
But not girl, buddy. I was so sweet. I was such a sweet young, like everything that people want their daughters to be, I was that. I was. And so I was so offended. I was crying. And he was like, you'll like it. Don't cry. Well, like he was so confused. Like the whole class was talking shit, like laughing at me because I was so offended. Now I'm grown and be like, so you eating pussy or no?
How did the class find out about this conversation? Like, was it over the loudspeaker? Did he put it was
again, I'm from
Louisiana.
This was in biology class. They were talking about it in class. He just blurted that shit out. Everybody knew I wasn't fucking. He was like, I know, I all y'all done did it, except Bridgetta. Man, I love to eat that pussy. How dare you?
So the question is,
if I could turn back the time.
You hear me? And that young man had a reputation back in the day. All the girls was lining up to get their pussy ate by him. All of them. And I was just like, no. That is, how dare you sully my good name.
You know what the funny thing is? You know what the funny thing is? A chick can get her pussy ate by 1,000 dudes and not get a reputation. But a dude can eat 1,000 vaginas and he a hoe. These double standards. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he had no bad reputation. Like it wasn't bad. Like, people knew that this young man was talented.
How many kids he got now?
Damn.
You know what? I don't know. I
just want to know if he turned out to be a winner, or did he just like quit at some point in time?
I know he's a plumber now. That's all I know. He has his
own laying pipe.
He a laying pipe.
You hear me? You hear me? So, yeah, that was my rant for the day.
No response over here. No, I don't got no response to that. I'm just
I don't
gonna let
have
you live.
one either.
I'm gonna let you live.
Thank you.
Kenny, what's your rant today? Let's just go ahead and move on. Kenny, bang on.
Man, I was gonna go ladies first, but I mean, you know, if as that's fine. What we'll do is I want to rehash a topic we talked about, and also give appreciation to a fine young man, right? So, oftentimes in life, I'm very happy that I'm able to share the celestial plane with Christopher Maurice Brown. So, I'm a huge Chris Brown fan. Right. So, all right. So let's check a couple things off. Right. So I feel that people can grow. I feel like people can, move past things. Right. So he did have a checkered past with some things that happened in the past, but him and that person are still, okay. They're still decent or whatever. They're still cordial. So they moved past that. They've grown. Right. So a couple weeks ago, it came out. This young lady was like, oh, he did this on the yacht. Right. Well, he decided to go to the police and release text messages between himself and this young lady, and it wasn't what it thought it was. So the other part was talking about, when you had that good pipe and just how, you put that crazy button. Apparently, when they had sex with this young lady, he pushed the crazy button. Don't believe me? Google it. Look up Chris Brown text messages. This chick was going crazy. He was high, he was drunk, and they had a ball. And every time afterwards, she was like, hey, I need you to put that thing in me, on January 1st. We need to fuck the new year. And then she moved to LA to get to this nigga, knowing that he lived in LA, right? So, hey, I'm not here to watch another man's meat, but I do know that when that crazy button is pushed, women will go to any length possible to get that thing back.
Did you say watch another man's meat?
I can't do that. I can't.
I'm sorry.
That's exactly what he said.
So can I chime in for just a second? I would like to say that I'm one of those women who did not chime in on that. Not because I thought he was guilty, but I just want to say this.
Time out, Tammy. We don't interrupt rants over here at the GH2 Podcast. But go ahead, Kim.
It's all right. It's all right. I can pick up where I left off.
I couldn't get on the bandwagon if he was guilty, because I'm the type of person that if you hear a motherfucker talking all this shit about somebody and somebody's always in the news about something, why you running up behind them? So I personally, I was very happy for him when he redeemed himself. I was like, look at that. Because everybody was so quick. He did that shit. As 50 would say, whatever they said the nigga did, he did that shit. So, I'm with you on that one. I watch his meat, even though he ain't my type. There you go.
All right, so let me bring this thing back in, right? So the chick is going crazy saying, oh, this is the best I ever had. This is number one, blah, 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 right? So to my fellas, right? If you realize that you are handing out that best I ever had, push the button, make her crazy, fellas, I need you to take some more accountability into who you handing it out to, because you can't do nothing once you press that button. You can't do, especially if you know that you press that button. See, so like what I do a lot of times, I'm not going to bring this on me, but I bring it on just a little example of me. I ponder a lot and I sit back and I look at a lot of consistencies in my life. And if I have, my mom always said, everybody can't tell the same lie. And not too many people are going to lie about the same exact thing, right? So if you realize that what you're doing is you're creating stalkers and you're driving these women crazy, brother, hold it down. Hold it down. Don't give it to her. Don't give it out. Some ladies would say, hey, you have relationship ping. That might be what you need to do. You might need to find somebody that you get in a relationship with, drive that person crazy, and y'all be crazy together. But don't be going around handing it out to every, Jack, Jill, Jane, and everybody else, because what's going to happen is some bad things are going to happen to you, and you're going to have some things come out about you that might not necessarily be true. And the worst part about it is these people that saying these same things is still lining up to go get that same thing. So, fellas, have some accountability. You can't do nothing. We talked about this before, fellas. We can only fuck one way. Excuse the early language. But hey, if that's all you got and you know you pushing crazy buttons, just be mindful of the crazy button that you push and understand that if you do push that, you might be, at that point, you attach to this person, keep it in your pants. Create a 90-day rule for yourself. Do something. But have some accountability, because you can't do nothing. You can't change the way you've been practicing this since you was 12, 13 when you first realized how this thing worked out. And then eventually you wasn't always a pro. You wasn't always an all-star. You got some bad reports, but you built your way up to this. So now, hey, this is all you know. So now, hey, have some self-respect about yourself, King. Keep that thing in your pants. But hey, once it's go time, no holds barred. It's like a wrestling match, or I quit match. That's all I got.
Ladies first.
I don't really have a rant. Let's see.
You're lying. You actually do have a rant.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Is that not what the topic is about?
Look at the text message. You know, go.
Hold on.
Well, while she's getting herself together, here's my rebuttal, Ken. We all have a BDR out there. I'm definitely working on a 95 to 5% clip right now. And I appreciate myself for having a try hard spirit. To the 5% that have negative BDRs about me, it's cool. You can tell everybody, I really don't care. I really don't care because my 95% say otherwise. God bless.
Oh, my.
You see me raise my hand? Y'all see that? It's right there. Y'all see it, right? I'm pointing at it. What BDR? What is that?
That's a bad dick report, meaning maybe there was some early ejaculation. Maybe I didn't have a very try-hard spirit that day. Maybe I didn't show the full capabilities of everything God has blessed me with. But nonetheless, I don't care.
A wise person once said, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. So I ain't gonna complain.
You know what? Don't do that. Don't do that today.
I won't complain.
Hey, it's 95 and 5. My good days outweigh my bad days. I take it 90. It's gonna be some bad days, but I ain't gonna complain.
Jada, I didn't see your text.
Your rant had a lot to do with the fact that you're so tired of people telling you to be softer.
Oh, is that not what we're talking about in this podcast?
No, you missed the whole agenda. There's an agenda.
So here's the thing. Here. Okay, that'll be my. Okay, that's fine. I got you. So look, I get told quite often that I am not soft enough. That I always have my cape on, which I actually, even after we had that conversation, it was kind of funny because when I first moved to Dallas, I had one person in particular who I used to hang with who told me I was too soft. Well, you're always whining about stuff, and but on the other hand, most of these women who are saying that I'm not soft enough are involved. I'll say that. Now, whether or not they're happily involved, that's a conversation for another day. So here's this. Once upon a time ago, many moons ago when I was in Tennessee, I didn't have to ask for nothing. Things just happened. And so I guess, I don't know if I feel like I'm the same person I was back then that I am now. I know a lot of people say, well, closed mouths don't get fed, but I will give you the best example. Like I said the other day. So I have this desk, this person who was wanting to sit in my face all the time. Ooh, let's do, or can I come see Bob? Like he knew I had this desk. I'm like, that's cool, whatever. He was like, well, when you want me to slide? Well, when you slide through, bring your toolbox, boo, because I need you to put this desk together. Oh, man, I got you. Da, 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 da. 6 months later, desk not put together. Now this person is like, oh, when my desk ain't put together, you ain't gonna see me. I just feel like, I asked you to do something, you had zero follow through. Now, is that not me being vulnerable? Oh, can you please? But my dad think I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, and I get it because we had discussed this. Is it, we talked about letting a woman be a woman and let a man be a man. I've touched on that too in some conversations with people. And I've even had some people just be like, but you do so much as it is and you make it look so well. What does that mean? I am an adult. I'm a functioning adult. And as an adult, single or in a relationship, married, whatever, am I not supposed to take care of my child? Am I not supposed to go to work? Am I not supposed to maintain my household? Like, those are things that you're supposed to do. And I feel like, is it because I'm a single parent that makes you, not everyone, that makes certain people feel like, oh, well, she's a single parent and she does it so well. She doesn't need anything. And I'm saying this and I'm asking a genuine question because, there are women who don't have children who get this label put on, oh, she's so career oriented. She don't, yes, I do. My favorite thing about, I don't care to live in Memphis, but my favorite thing about going home to Tennessee, my favorite thing to this day, like clockwork, when I pull up at home, if I'm in Bartlett, I'm going to see my Uncle DeWitt out in the yard, maintaining the yard. When I go in the house, I'm going to hear my Aunt Shirley fussing at him about, DeWitt, did you mess up that pipe under the sink? Now I got the car. But I'm okay with it because in my mind, I'm like, if I'm going to have an argument in a relationship, that's what I want to have. When I go to my kid's grandfather's house, what's he doing? Detailing the car, maintaining. It's those things. When I go out to the country, it's those things. So I appreciate those things. I do understand that most men, not all, in our age demographic, they don't do those things anymore, especially those who live in the city because for what? You're in the city. But I appreciate those things. And you most definitely will see an extremely softer side. Like, I'm more likely to offer you a whole full course meal. I'm cooking every damn thing.
But will you
do those
suck
things?
But will you suck his dick?
Motherfucking right.
Okay. I just, because Here's the
thing. It's not that I don't.
If he access to use sex toys in the bedroom, how are you going to handle that?
So let disclaimer, a motherfucker that's making me feel like I'm on cloud nine can do what the fuck he please.
That's all I need.
I might even offer this motherfucker a threesome. I'm just saying.
Now you're talking. I'm so proud.
I'm just saying.
I'm very proud.
But I don't get those things. You know what I get? I get a motherfucker who just met me asking me, can I cook him dinner? I'm sorry, what? I just met you. Can I cook you dinner? How you been eating? That's what I get.
Gentlemen, can y'all offer her anything? Because I.
No, they can't because it's gone fire them.
No, we're just talking about offering advice. I got some advice. So this is what I give you, right? So here's the thing about dudes, right? So men we're naturally competitive, right? So the worst thing you can tell a dude is when you ask him for something and he gives you some kind of excuse, the 3 words that every man, okay, it's 4 words. I had to make sure I counted. Don't worry about it. Once a man hears don't worry about it, that nigga in him is like, oh, don't worry about it. Who the fuck she about to get to do this? Like, no, that ain't finna work, right? Don't worry about it. Give you a prime example, right? Since we're talking about building this, right? So, probably about a week or 2 back, my lady, she got my daughter a little desk to eat on or whatnot or whatever, right? And I had just got off work. I was sitting down, I was being lazy or whatever, and she know how to get me. So she starts to go and get the box and try to open it up, like, and that damn near set me off. Like, fuck you doing? Like, you know that's what I do. So why are you trying to get up here and do that, right? So she challenged that. So all I offer to you is just with certain, not certain niggas, all niggas, especially the guy that you want, you have to hit a couple niggas with that don't worry about it just to kind of see what their headspace is. Now, if you hit them with the don't worry about it and they give you XYZ excuse, get rid of them. But if you hit him with the don't worry about it and he on it, okay, that's who you want. So often, because niggas is simple, man. Like, as we get later on, we're going to talk about, how to keep a black man. I promise you I could have wrote that book in 1 page. But hit a nigga with it. Don't worry about it. Like hit a nigga with it. Don't worry about it, and just don't let. Like I'm big on, and I'm gonna bring it back to me. I'm big on not letting people play with me and let people try me. If I ask you to do something and then you come back on me on some other stuff, well, you might be blocked. You might not even have a way to connect. Did you change your number? No, I ain't changed my number. I got the same number, but you tried me. So don't worry about it.
That part.
What I'm gonna say is the gentleman that you're probably looking for, you're not finding because those type of men, the men that you're talking about, like the kind that is doing the yard work and stuff like that, they do exist in the city, but it's only gonna be your man that'll do that. So it's not about men, because you don't want men, you want a man. So it's about finding that man for Tammy. And that's it. That's all it's about. Because just like for men, it's about me finding the woman for George, not the women.
Hold on, George. Wait that hand one more time.
Don't worry.
Listen. I ain't much gonna lie to you.
No.
Not gonna lie to you.
I've
been real eyeballing. Like, wait.
I was like,
in my head, I'm
sorry.
like, hold on, wait. I'm just saying. Okay.
We need to have a sidebar conversation outside of the podcast.
Why y'all keep having these sidebars? I'm trying to
sidebars.
in.
No sidebars.
So let me say this. So I said that to say. So I don't know if you saw it on my Snapchat the other day. I said this. So I know that there are men out there like that, and that's why I shout out you and I shout out Ricky all the time, because, like I said, when I was preparing to move to Texas, it was George that helped me move to Texas. Like, I came to stay with him in Longview for a couple of months, so I got a place in Dallas. It was when it was time for me to move my stuff, it was nothing but a phone call for George to get people to help me get my stuff out of storage so I could get it here. So I know that they do exist. And as far as having those types of adult conversations with people in their talking phase or somebody you've been talking to, I will give you another example. Same motherfucker. I'm like, okay, I see you out in the streets all the time. You see, I like to be out. Clearly, we like to be out. Yeah, so why we not out together? Because you don't ask. I mean, you could take me out too. And then this is why we don't be out. He and I no longer talk, but that's the end of my rant.
Cut him out. Now, I will tell you this, though. I said men are natural competitors. Don't be afraid to have a couple of, don't be afraid to have a little rotation.
Oh, but let me tell you something. So there's this, see, I don't want to give it away because if they catch it, then they're going to know who I'm talking about. But there's a group here that throws these parties, and they're from another state. And so every so often they throw like this such and such state get-togethers. I didn't realize that him in my long time we're in the same circle. And so the person who was hosting the party is somebody I have long history with. And then this person was there. I thought it was rather hilarious. No type of drama at the party, but I think he caught some stuff. And this dude had the nerve to text me like a nigga that was jilted at the altar or something. It was like, you're not gonna be playing with me like this. Or so I was like, first of all, who are you talking to? You're not my nigga. You not. I noticed that everywhere you went in the party, it was taken care of. I ain't see you pull out a card for nothing. I said, well, how you know I ain't have a tab going? Why is the natural assumption that somebody was taking care of it?
He might not be your nigga, but he might be your next nigga, and he know it. But okay, carry on.
No.
Compete. Make their ass compete. I'm telling you, niggas are natural competitors. If they want it, we gonna get it. I promise you, we gonna get it.
Man, look, ladies,
you can't make a nigga want what he don't want.
Ladies, if you are single, here's the dumb thing that women do. Y'all will limit the field of competition. Men don't never limit the field of competition, even though we're hunters. See, we like when the women throw themselves at us. However, if it's not the woman we want, we still don't care. So women, what y'all need to do is y'all need to take a lesson. Hey, all these men can throw themselves at you all day, every day. But if it's not the dude you want, you still got to entertain the idea of the nincompoops so that Hercules can come get you. and I'm gonna call him
You
Hercules
just stop talking with your hands because that hand over there is
Hercules, BKA Thor, he can Thor smash that coochie for you all day, every day. I don't know what she's talking about my hands. Don't worry about it. But on to our next topic. Our next topic is perfect. Don't judge me. It's Christina Aguilera. What a girl wants, what a girl needs. So check this out. This is what I want to know, right? This is what I want to know. So I got two young ladies on the line. So this is what I want to know. What does a woman want? Like, is it really that simple? Like, can y'all simplify it for me? Help me out.
Security, safety, security, safety, security.
Safety, security. So define safety, define safety, define security, because safety and security could be many different things.
Yes, for me, safety. Am I safe? It's the wholeness of me safe with you. Like, am I safe in telling you my deepest, darkest secrets? Am I safe in talking to you about insecurities in a way that you're not going to bring it back up the first time I do something that you don't really like? Am I security as if we're out and about, are you going to ensure that ain't nobody going to snatch my ass up? You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like I want to know, I want that level of intimacy, vulnerability. Am I able to be vulnerable with you? But more importantly for me, and this may, I don't know if this is all women thing, but for me, are you willing to be vulnerable with me?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
That has to be part of it, because that's just the name of the game. Like it's intimacy. Like, are you able to cultivate all different types of intimacy with me? That's it.
I think I would have to agree with everything you said. There's the safety, the security, there's the vulnerability, the trust, loyalty. I mean, things that I give.
Right.
I want those things in return, but I want somebody that's going to be my friend and my lover.
Yep. And
all those things that Jetta just touched on, I feel like that encompasses all of that for me.
It's simple. We're simple.
It is simple. I think it doesn't. I think that where we are now, kind of just in life, the things of the world is just what kind of complicates things. I think that, not to go too deep, maybe like things from our past, whether it's past relationships, some sort of trauma or whatever. I think that that's what gets in a lot of adults' way. I think those are the obstacles that we face that just people can't seem to come together and get it right.
Okay, so both of y'all stated safety, security. Give me, what's it? Safety, security, and what else?
Vulnerability
and trust.
And trust. Okay, so safety, security, vulnerability, trust, and loyalty. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is my question. Ladies. So you're looking for these 5 traits: safety, security, vulnerability, trust, and loyalty. And why do you date people who do not exhibit those 5 traits?
We don't know forward facing that they do, or if they do or don't.
No. This is why I say that. Jetta. Mm-hmm. What is the timeline that you give men right now at this moment, at your big age? What's the time limit you give men to figure that out?
My patience is real thin now. So I'm going to say, maybe I'm going to give you 2 to 3 dates.
Okay, cool. Now let's go 3 years prior. How much time were you giving men?
Too long.
Too
fucking long.
See, that's the thing. See, that's where I think a lot of women's issue come in, is y'all are willing to give a dude. See, this is the funny thing about a woman, right? Y'all could know by date number 3 you don't want him. But if he's safe, you'll let him keep riding on out. Yeah.
Hold on. Let me hold on. Pause. Time out on it. So here's the thing. So I think we discussed this before on the last podcast that I was on, that, in my journey, for me, and going to therapy and hashing out some things. I learned some things about me. Now, George is right to an extent, but here's the thing. As I get older, these friends, single or involved, then come in and, oh, you too quick to cut him off, or, oh, well, you need to at least have fun until you come across the right one. So then which is it? Because, and I think we talked about this before, because George had mentioned a couple of months back, don't entertain anything less than what it is that you want. But in doing so, that's some lonely ass shit, let me tell you. Because in the dating process or getting to know you process, when you're seeing these things, oh no, I ain't with this shit. I don't want to do that no more. Oh, I know he's not going to lead me into da-da-da-da-da, or whatever your view is at that time, unless you know that this is a red flag, I can't do it. But it is. So right now where I am currently, I'm okay with, okay, this is some lonely shit. I can't do it. Because if I need some dick, then I'm going to drive to Little M and I'm going to go get it. Period.
Little M.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing though. So if you really, but this is what I'm saying though, right? Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. If the great prophet.
No, Jesus.
Oh God. He could say for fuckery.
Kenneth Martin once told me, he said, my brother, chill out on everything right now and work on manifesting the woman that you want. Look, I did not like the sound of that because it sounded lonely. It sounded like I would be vaginaless. And it sounded like I would be bored out of my mother effing mind. But here's what I found. It has been none of those things for me. Because one of the things when you really get to that, because all of us at that big age, we over 35. Everybody on here over 35, right? So let me be honest with y'all. Loneliness is a thing. A lot of people will say that, you shouldn't be lonely. No, loneliness is a real thing, right? Because experiencing life and not feeling like you have your person or a person to talk to is lonely. That's why I think it's always great for you to have a well-balanced group of friends that you can talk to get you through different things. And I think that sometimes, when I told you about not entertaining anything less than what you want, I really meant that because I had to learn for myself. Because sometimes I'm gonna go ahead and tell on myself. George was out here entertaining some bum bitches. Like I said it. I told on myself. I'm not calling now. If you listen to this and you feel like I might be talking to you, you being a hit dog hollering, but I might have entertained a bum bitch or two in my day. Just like you might have entertained some bum niggas or two in your day. And that's cool. That's a part of our process. And sometimes you need to be honest with people and say, look, I'm only entertaining you because I'm lonely. Let them know that. Because if they still give you the dick or the vagina, whatever one you into, or the booty hole, whatever you into, if they go ahead and still give you that, knowing that you're just entertaining them because you're bored, that is a better place for you to be in because it's going to be easy to transition off of that. And if a person can hear you say that and still mess with you, one, they probably got a very low morale. And two, when it's time for you to leave to go to what you really want to go to, they're not going to have an issue. So I think that, I don't want you to, so what I'm saying, so this is what I'm really saying. It might be lonely, but when you put your energy behind it, because what I've learned is the things that I focus on, I achieve quicker. And I think sometimes even when it comes to who you're willing to deal with, I think that you can really help yourself by focusing on what it is you really want. And did that make that better for you? That made it better for you? Okay, cool. All right. What you got, Tammy?
I want to throw one thing. I want to throw one thing, and this is just, so this is not an attack on women, but this is just something I've noticed because I got 7 sisters, got 2 daughters, mamas, aunties, all that, right? Okay, so two things, right? We talked about this once before. So one thing is most women are just natural fixers. So they're looking to fix, even if they notice a red flag, they think, hey, I can work through this, I can go past it. But another thing that a lot of women don't do is a lot of women don't listen and they don't pay attention to little clues and things that people are doing. Oftentimes, a lot of women don't listen because they're oftentimes not heard. So if I'm not heard, then I'm not going to give anybody the privilege of hearing them. So I say that to say, if you're entertaining a vast amount of people and you've taken the time to realize, hey, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to, this is my standard. Before you even get on a couple dates, you can kind of figure out what a person is on. You can kind of figure out what kind of person they are just from their jump. Do they have long-term friends? How's their relationship for the ladies? How's his relationship with his mom? How's his relationship, with his baby mama? How does he talk about his baby mama, right? Does he shit on her, or does he realize that, hey, this is my child's mother, so I'm not going to disrespect the person that brought life into this world? And don't be afraid to, when you see that red flag, don't be afraid to cut them off, because at that point you've set your standard. They call it controlling your RSS feed. So your RSS feed is the things that you allow into your life.
Right.
So an actual RSS feed, TikTok has the best RSS feed. It makes you figure out exactly like what you like, and it's going to always give you what you like or what you dislike as well, because it can work both ways. So when you're taking that time to be by yourself, take that time to, I even do this still, even in a relationship, I take the time to just ponder a lot. How did that make me feel? What did that make me feel? What am I trying to accomplish? And don't be afraid. Like you should never be alone with yourself. You should never feel lonely with yourself, because you should be able to show yourself the best time. You should be able to show yourself a blast. And on top of that, if we're talking sexually, can't nobody fuck you better than yourself, because you know what you want. You know what you desire. You know what gets you off. You know what drives you wild. So take the time, ladies, number one, and we're not talking to the ladies on the podcast. We're spreading this broad. Take the time to listen. Listen to that nigga. Especially conversations, text messages, conversations on the phone, listen to them. A lot of times people are telling themselves. I know this because, in my past dealings, oftentimes, women will tell me stuff and they be like, I can't believe I just said that. I can't believe I da-da-da-da-da. Because you don't realize that somebody's actually listening to you and actually paying attention to the words that's coming out of your mouth, and actually taking the time to actually learn and understand you and figure out, hey, are you a good fit for me, or should we stay better off friends, or should you just never even enter my life? So don't be afraid to set that standard and cut a motherfucker off. Men, I promise you, men are naturally competitive. If all women wanted doctors, every single man would be in med school. I promise you this. Mm-hmm. Like that's just how men work. You don't have to ignite that hunger into a man. You don't have to do things to do. You get what I'm saying? You don't have to pull that hunger out of that man. All you have to do is show him that, hey, I got this on my own. If you want to contribute, glory. If not, hallelujah. But somebody want it. And some, especially us, we're not just, we're not the normal, bum raggedy ass people. So there's people out there that want this. But when you're entertaining that trash, what you're telling yourself and the universe is, hey, I just give anybody a shot.
Yep. I have no standards.
Zero. But once you cut the motherfuckers off, you like, now you're letting yourself and everybody else around you know, hey, this is not going to be tolerated. This is not going to be, so you're not going to get a second chance to fuck me over. You're not going to, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And don't be afraid. And then don't be listening to them outside motherfuckers. They don't know what the fuck they want. Oftentimes they be miserable as hell and trying to project on you. So fuck them. Do what's best for you.
Yeah, you gotta
I gotta work on this curse, and I apologize.
No, it's all good. You gotta let the universe understand. You gotta let the universe understand what exactly it is you're looking for. I think a lot of times, when we're in the, I literally had this conversation. I think I was talking to Brigetta. I talked to Kenny about it. And I think I might have even said this to Tammy, like in one-on-one conversations with each one of y'all. I said, I think I'm at this point in my life where I'm ready for my person. Because I was just like, I'm cool. So I think that when you get to that point, you become a little bit more selfish about what you're willing to deal with. Also, I wanted to say this. I love what y'all said y'all were looking for from y'all person, because one of the things that I really listened to and I heard is y'all are worried about character. Because character is something that we don't understand, we really overlook when we're looking for somebody to deal with. because a lot of the issues that come up are from their character. Now, if he got a little dick, Brigetta will tell you he could probably work some things out. Y'all can work some things out, and you probably gonna do some things to him to help him out with that. But or if he's inexperienced, you can work that out. If you know,
you have a special skill set.
Yep, she can help. She can help you out with that. All right, she can teach classes. She can teach how to eat pussy. All right, now also another thing. I think that a lot of times when we have this conversation about what we're looking for in our mate, we're so quick to make it a very Twitter conversation, right? We'll say some dumb stuff like, oh, they sex-wise or financially and stuff like that. Let me tell y'all, I'm gonna tell everybody a secret. Everybody don't make $100,000 a year. The average person is making like in the 50s, like 50, let's say 54,000 just to make it easy for y'all, right? So I don't know how much Balenciaga you're gonna have for $54,000. Let me help you out here. Because I think that one of the things for men to help you out with your women is to be transparent financially with where y'all are at, so that she doesn't put any expectations on you that are unrealistic. What does George mean? What does Dr. Gas Can mean? Let me help you out. If you make $60,000 a year, you need to show your woman where every dollar goes. Because this is what I found. When your woman doesn't know how the money is spent, she wants Louis Vuitton shoes. She wants Louboutins because she believes that y'all should be able to get it because you make 60,000. Now, she might make 40,000, so together y'all make 100,000, but let's really get into the breakdown of that. Y'all already know if it's a household, you're making 100,000, that means y'all really only seeing maybe 68,000, and that's if y'all gonna have to pay some taxes at the end of the year. So when you break it down like that, 68,000, average rent is $1,500, average mortgage is even still around that same amount of money. Let's do the actual math, because a lot of times when we look at these luxury things and the things that you see on Instagram that are giving you depression because you think that's what these women want, you really can't afford it unless you're willing to go into debt. So be transparent with your conversation and your communication so that men, I'm talking to the men now, when you're talking about that spending and stuff like that, so that you can provide the security. If she understands that rent's going to be paid, the car notes are going to be paid, the insurance is going to be paid, and she's going to pay some utilities, that woman will go to work happy every goddamn day because she can go to work doing something that she actually loves versus doing something she don't want to do. Because you're taking the big strains out the way. But also with that, you have to be a willing participant in child rearing. It can't just be you come home from work, she got to still deal with the kids because you like, hey, I worked all day. No, my G, you still have to make sure that you're an adequate partner when it comes to child rearing, because then it's going to make your life that much easier, right? It sounds crazy, right? It sounds crazy, but it makes your life that much easier when you're willing to go to work to do those things, to knock out the big bills and allow her the opportunity to chase her passion and dream, but then also be an adequate partner for her at the home. So now you got this vixen. She ain't tired all the time. She ain't telling you she tired. She ain't telling you her head hurt. She ready to pop that pussy for a real one. What y'all think?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Tammy. Go ahead.
The things that he's touching on, I'm just wondering, like, is that what men feel like all women want? Do men feel like, and is that the reality, or is that the perception that social media gives? Do men feel like all women want the Christian Louboutins? I gotta have a Chanel bag. I need Balenciaga, this, is that, and the third. I mean, is that what you all feel? I mean, is that the reality? Or is that what you all feel? And I'm asking, so, because I've had a conversation with people much younger than me. And we were talking about what dating is like for them. And for them, they feel like dating is hard for this younger generation based on social media. I don't feel like social media is completely the problem for me. I do know some women who that's their thing. They are, as my auntie with her fabulous self likes to say, I was a label whore. I was slutted out for the labels. And when she says this, y'all, she's like knocking on 60. So when she says the shit is hilarious when she says it. But she meant it. So we were talking this was a couple of months back. She's from St. Louis. And she was like, let me tell you something. Before I became a mother, let me tell you something. I was out here in these streets. I was slutting it out. You know, when I used to come to Granny house, I said, yeah, auntie, that's why I tell people I didn't grow up with you, because you was kind of in and out. You'd be like, hey, y'all, drop a couple of dollars, and then she was out. And she said, I was, but did you notice all my labels? And we're going through photo albums. She was like, look at that. Gucci from head to toe, and I'm this, and da-da-da-da. But a lot of that shit she got on her own. So while I'm not a label whore, but I will say the things that I do have, the nice things that I do have, I mean, I got them on my own. And it's nothing that I flaunt to anybody. I guess because I've been on my own for a while, it just feels good to be able to say that I did this for myself. It is sweet when somebody else does it for me, but those are not the things that are important to me. So I'm just wondering, like, as men, is that what you come across when you're dating? Is like, oh my God, George, I know you you got good coin. Ooh, you got a good job. When you go buy this YSL bag. Ooh, hey, okay.
Please don't tell me.
Lord, you run how many jobs? Okay, when we taking trips? Is that what you
Oh my God. Let us hope
not. I feel like so if we're gonna go the social media route, a lot of people don't realize that social media is a highlight reel. So it's like Sports Center, you know, if we're gonna go for Sports Center, they're not gonna show the missed dunk or the missed layup, or it's like the news. They're not gonna show the cat that got stuck in the tree. You know, they're gonna show, you know, the huge big story or whatnot. And people don't realize that social media is absolutely fake, especially fellas. Like when we get into the whole, you know, we can't buy the label this, we can't buy the label that. A lot of women don't really require that. And, you know, as Tam mentioned, and even as her aunt mentioned, you know, a lot of the women that do require that, they, get that for themselves. And then secondly, they don't necessarily look for that. They don't look for a man to do that, but it is nice if he does that. Right. So as a man, you have to have some kind of self-confidence and self-assurance that, you know, hey, she gonna be good either way, because even if I'm not, you know, buying the Louboutins or whatnot, I know what's going on in the household. Like a lot of cats don't know what's going on in the household. You know, even if your lady is taking care of, you know, all the bills, paying them wise, you should know exactly, you know, hey, how much is due, when is due, you know, hey, how is the kid doing in school? A lot of guys are not just in tune with what's going on in the house. And that's why their woman feels so tired, because they don't know what's going on. They're just bringing the money in, handing it over, and not being in tune with the day-to-day, you know, aspects of everything. So just to kind of step back a little bit, I mean, that's social media fake. Don't believe that stuff. I mean, if she does have it, that's cool, you know, but as a man, you shouldn't feel intimidated by that. You shouldn't feel like you have to provide that. You should feel that, hey, you know, what you are providing is good enough. And if you can, cool. But if not, you know, that's totally fine as well. But don't feel like that you shouldn't put forth that effort just because you can. And a lot of cats just don't want to put forth that effort just because they feel like, you know, oh, I can't afford this, or I can't buy this or whatnot, so I'm not going to put that effort. Still put your best foot forward, man. Still come through and, you know, make it happen, because we're going to talk about this a lot, but what a lot of ladies are saying is they don't want to have to think. They don't want to have to, you know, just be in charge. They want to be able to be that compliment. They want to be able to be that person that, you know, is able to, you know, make things better. I'm a firm believer that anything you give a woman, she multiplies. Literally anything. So, and it should be your goal, aim, and intent to, hey, what can I give her? What can I provide her with, so that way she can multiply and make our lives better, and not look at it as such a, you know, mine's and yours thing. Because I promise you, if you take care of that woman and make sure that she good and make sure she don't have to worry. If she don't have to worry, oh man, you getting your number one porn star and all that stuff. But as a man, you got to be on top of that. You got to ask these questions. You got to talk. You got to be open. And the one thing that the ladies talked about is you have to be vulnerable. You have to let that lady know, you know, hey, I may not be able to do this right now, but I'm still going to give my best effort in this area. And eventually, you know, we'll get to that point. But you got to be locked in. And as a man, you got to hold yourself accountable. You got to hold yourself accountable to making it happen day in and day out. So that way your woman doesn't have that weight, and that she's able to, you know, get into her femininity and multiply anything that you give her.
It's just syllables. Okay. But no, so I think that Kenny brought up a very great point, right? I think that, okay, so I'm going to say this, and men, I'm not bashing y'all, but men got to be men. And this is what I mean, right? So one of the issues that a lot of men run into is they don't run their households, and when I mean run their households, I don't mean it from a dogmatic standpoint. What I mean from a standpoint of is you're leading your household. I was having a wonderful conversation with a young lady, and she was just like, I don't want you to buy me purses and bags. I'll go get that myself. I just need you to run this household. I need these kids to respect you. And I know that this is going to happen. I need to know that the bills are going to be paid no matter what. If I want a bag, I can go work my little job and get my bag. Excuse me. If the kids are cutting up, I know you're going to come lay the hammer down. If the kids are struggling in school, and that ain't my thing, I know you can step in and help me. And I think that a lot of men nowadays, they feel like, so this is what I'm going to be real with. All of the fellas I know who make six figures, because they make six figures, they want somebody else to do it. They want somebody else to do it. I.e., I'll get somebody else to clean the house. I'll get somebody else to help you as a nanny. I'll get somebody else to fix the car. I'll get somebody else to handle the electrical. I'll get somebody else. Here's the thing. You know why she cheating on you, bro? It's because somebody else is doing everything else. So she might as well give somebody else that pussy too. Because you're not really active and you're not really in there. So that's what creates a lot of issues. So for the men who are the high earners, and like, I think that the dude who's in the sweet pocket, when I go back to my life and I think back over all of my years and what God has done for me, in that package of those years in between $50,000 to $70,000, that was when I was at my best, because I had to be hands-on. I had to, if something was wrong in the house, I had to fix it. Something going on with the kids, I had to do it because I couldn't pay somebody else to come help me to do it. Food need to get cooked, I had to learn how to cook. So now I know how to cook. I know how to make sure, I know how to differentiate my parenting style with my children. I know how to be a great partner. But the problem is when men get to that big money amount and they feel like I got the bag, you're trying to figure out how you can be as least involved as possible. And I think it shifts the family dynamics and it creates a lot of the issues that we see. Because when you look at a lot of people on social media, and yes, social media is a highlight reel, but when we look at social media, it's fake. You'll see the people, he'll give her the big engagement ring that he can't afford. He'll go get her the Lexus that he can't afford. He'll do all of that because it looks good on social media. The shit looks great on social media. But I'm gonna tell you, as a person that's paid for a luxury car before, it's the dumbest shit in the world. As a person who's paid for a home I couldn't really afford for real, it's the dumbest shit in the world. As a person who has went and bought expensive bags that I didn't know why the fuck I bought her this bag, it's dumb as fuck. And I'm telling you that as somebody who technically, if you want to be told, I got 7 kids, but I can still afford that. I can still afford it. I can afford you like 1 or 2 a year. And I still don't want to do that shit. You know why? Because it's dumb as fuck. It's dumb as fuck. That's just me, right? Because I ain't got, like, I'm gonna tell y'all, I ain't got no $1,000 shit in my house. My couch might be $1,000. My TV when it first came out might be $1,000. But ain't no fucking clothes in this house $1,000.
I want to ask a question though. So okay. So let's say you got the guy that, you know, he does pay other people to do the things, not all the things, but let's say the hands-on things because he doesn't necessarily have the time to do that. Is it okay if as long as he's hands-on in making sure that it gets done? And this is a question for everybody. Is it okay if, even if he doesn't physically fix the sink or if he doesn't physically do the yard, is it okay if he makes sure that he spearheads? You know, he goes out and finds the person and he makes sure that it gets done. Everything, or does he have to physically do it?
Everything with the exception of things dealing with the children for me. Like, no. Like, I'm cool with the yard, I'm cool with cars, all of that. Take it all. I don't care how you get it done. Just please, and thank you for getting it done. But as far as kids, no.
I want to see him be hands-on with everything, if it's possible. If it's just, you know, something that's just, you know, our schedules do not permit. As long as he's putting forth the effort, I'm okay with him. If it just so happens that he has to pay somebody else to do it, but most definitely, I want him to be hands-on with the kids. And that touches on something else that George said. As much as I want to be in a relationship, I'm still dealing with trauma from living with somebody before. I lived with my son's father, and just what George touched on, it was like, because he worked all day, when he came home, he didn't have to parent. He, the baby could have been asleep. He gonna wake him up out of his sleep, throw him up in the air a couple of times, bounce him on his knee. Okay, I'm cool, and give him back. And that, it was like there was no sharing of household responsibilities. It was like, well, I worked and I paid for this, so you figure it out. I was really, really young when that happened to me. And I'm still like, this sounds really good. However, I don't know. And it's because of that. It really, truly is because of that. So then it becomes one of those things, circling back to this, that I think that's a fear of mine, because it's like, well, if we're paying people to do things that you could do, then am I then doing the same? Am I paying somebody to cook meals for us or something? And I'm saying that because, and I don't know if you see this, Jenna, on TikTok or whatever, but on TikTok and Instagram, now I see, oh, Black girl, it's nothing wrong. If you make that money, self-care is important. So outside of the massages and the pedicures and manicures and getting your hair done, girl, pay somebody to come cook for you. Oh, you tired of cleaning all the time? Pay somebody to come clean your house. So I'm just kind of like, a part of me was like, ooh, that don't sound bad. But then the other side of me is like, not sure if that's a habit I want to step into and make that a reality.
I think it's a space and time for it. I think in order, if you're ill, if you are tired, if you're overwhelmed, if you got a whole lot of shit going on, but this is still something that is part of your responsibility to keep up a household, then absolutely ensure that it gets done by any means necessary. But y'all know me, address the root cause, not the symptom, right?
Right.
Not something that, if your responsibility within your household is to take care of the household and you're finding it difficult to do so, are you addressing the reason why it's difficult for you to do so? But as you're figuring that out, ensure that your household's getting taken care of.
I think that a lot of people, when they see that on TikTok, because I've seen that on TikTok and Instagram, and I think that a lot of times when you're doing that, that's actually what's creating the other issues. So one of the beautiful things that I think that me and Tammy, being friends for so long, talk about is she likes the old school man. I respect the old school man. I respect the old school woman. I think the problem is we start moving so new and hip that sometimes we forget why your grandparents did what they did. Now, I know some people would jump in and they'd be like, but grandpa was cheating on grandma and all that other dumb stuff. But you know what? Your grandmama never let it known that granddaddy had another family on the other side of town. But I don't want to get into that.
Lies.
Yeah, because he's a hoe. He was a hoe. But I get it. That's cool. We're not talking about them.
Blasphemy, not mine. The great Johnny White was the second coming of Jesus.
Y'all
better stop playing.
I know Johnny wasn't hoeing out here, but some of our other granddaddies were. All right, so so I think that sometimes we forget what made them great from a standpoint of how they were able to manage and handle and deal. I never saw my grandma tired because it was all about a labor of love for her family. And I think that sometimes we lose that. We lose that when we deal with our families. Like, excuse me, my father, GH Hardy the first, God bless him. I love my daddy, but he ain't shit. So he was present, but he wasn't active with us, right? So, but now me, I want to be so active with my damn kids. It's like the opposite effect, right? I didn't want to be like that, so I want to be real active with my kids. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of men nowadays, they'll be like, well, I financially take care of my kids, so I don't got to be active with them. No, bro, you really need to be active with your kids, because they're gonna build so much of who they are off of the interactions of watching their mother and their father interact. And I think that sometimes we're so worried about how we feel versus how they feel and how they're going to grow and build off of what we show them. That's why we got to make sure we go on our date nights when we have them scheduled with the old lady. That's why we got to make sure that we come home and we kiss our old lady every day in front of our kids and show her affection and show how she's so important to us and our success. She might never go to work a day in her life, But if you show your children how important she is to your success, they'll understand that how important that role really is. Because what I've learned now at the age of 37 is my old lady ain't got to go to work for real. I'm okay with getting my back kicked in if I know that she's going to take care of a lot of the things that I'm not going to have to worry about anymore, because I can focus on this job. I can focus on this job, and she's going to let me transition when I come home. And then I can transition into being GH, not Dr. Gas Can Man, not George H. Hardy II, professional extraordinaire. I can be daddy. I can come home and be daddy because she's taking care of a lot of the other things. And I think that is a very hard part. And I think that's all a girl wants. That's all a girl wants and all a girl needs, at the end of the day.
Now, I do want to add one thing into the fellas, right? So understand that this isn't easy and this isn't simple, because you have to be two things. You have to be cognizant and considerate, right? So you got to be cognizant of what's going on in the house, but you also have to be considerate of how you and how your partner feels as well. It's not the easiest job, especially being, I say it all the time, like I thank God every day I was born a man, but it's a tough job, but the rewards are amazing. So don't be afraid to put in that extra work and put in that extra time, because you're going to benefit a whole lot by making that woman, feel comfortable, by letting her feel, safe, secure, trusted, being what's the word I want to say? Vulnerable around her. So it's not the simplest thing, but it's definitely work for sure. And don't be afraid, but make sure that you're paying attention and knowing what's going on. Just like GA say, run your house. Understand what the hell is going on and run your house. Don't leave her around to just, rear the kids all by herself. She's a person too. Mama got to have a life too. Especially if she need to go out with her friends, make some time to, hey, baby, go out with your friends, go do your thing. Allow that balance for everything. But make sure that you're definitely cognizant of what's going on and considerate. Because if you're not, somebody else will.
Yes, sir. So, ladies, quick question. What lessons has your past taught you about yourself?
Child. I guess for me, what I have learned is that I am nurturing and forgiving to all the wrong people. I think that looking back on past relationships, I feel like there was a lot of trauma bonds that tied me to people, instead of like looking back and saying like, oh my God, I was so in love, or oh, this is such amazing. This was such an amazing relationship to be in. One in particular, the most recent, which was about a year or so ago, I think I held on to that situation only because, one, this person was somebody from my childhood that I had known for a very long time. And in the course of dating him, I lost my mind. So there was a part of me that knew he was trash and like this was not going to grow where I needed to grow to. But he was somebody that I was familiar with, and there was like a level of comfort there that I felt like I knew I wasn't going to get from somebody new at that time. And I was going through a lot. So what I have learned is that it's better to kind of hash that out on my own. It definitely taught me to really figure out who my real friends are. So I appreciate the circle that I have here on this pod, and what I've learned about myself and what I've learned from you all. It definitely makes it a lot easier to weed those things out. But I definitely, looking back, can say that a lot of I can say the one person, because I feel like I've only been in love maybe once. And even then, when I rehash certain things, I'm like, oh, well, that wasn't healthy, or I shouldn't have done that. This is that and the third, regardless of if it was because we were young and stupid when it happened. So I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned, is having to separate what actually is really connecting me to this person. Is it trauma that I need to work through? Is it, obviously there's something that's not being met within me or for me, especially when you see the red flags. So now that I'm able to connect those dots, I feel like it makes dating, or lack thereof, a little bit easier for me.
Oh, that's really good, Tammy. That was really good. What have I learned? This will sound, I promise you, I'm not being cocky. This is not a cocky thing. I need y'all to take me serious, okay?
Oh, Lord.
I learned that I am insanely powerful and that I am magic. And much like Kenny says, what you give me, I'm going to multiply. And that in and of itself is very attractive to people who lack. And instead of me seeing it as you lack, therefore you are not good enough for me. I'm just going to call it what it is. You are not good enough for me. It doesn't mean you're not a valuable person, but you're not for me. I took that as, oh, you're my assignment. I need to love you up because obviously someone has not loved you enough so that you know your own magic. That ain't my business. If you didn't get the love that you needed prior to meeting me, you're not going to drag me down the rabbit hole, down in the bowels of hell with you. You're not going to do that.
The hell?
The bowels of hell. So I learned that I need to be much more selective with who I share my energy with, even just my time, my fucking phone number. Just be very, very clear on people's intentions. Be very clear on how they fit in my world. Yeah, that's what I've learned.
What about for you, Ken?
So the kind of combination, I don't know if it's Aquarius thing or not, but I definitely found myself, just very caring and nurturing. And what I had to learn is number one, that I needed to communicate when my feelings got hurt. And then on top of that, making sure that when I communicated effectively. Because in past relationships, what would happen is I would get my feelings hurt. And then I would get to the point where I feel like, hey, this person doesn't care about me. So if you don't, as the wise young bloods once said, if you don't give a damn, I don't give a fuck. And then that would turn on this savage mode to where I would just treat the people that I would pretty much do a 180 on this person I love and care for so much to where I just treated them any kind of way. But that was all, at the end of the day, that was all my fault because I didn't say, hey, this hurt my feelings and this made me feel a way. And it just kind of built me up to this whole savage level to where I was just kind of doing things to people that, I'll be honest, that they didn't deserve, because it's like, hey, you hit me and I shoot you. Like that's not a balance right there. So I had to realize that, hey, now I'm going to converse a whole lot more and express so that way I don't build this up to where in my mind I feel like, oh, you don't care about me? Okay, well, watch how I get. So now I'm definitely a lot more open to communicate. And I'll tell you quick, as soon as it happens, that it hurt my feelings, instead of letting it build up in me and then turn me into this person that's, not treating you the way you should be treating. And also just doing things to you that, that aren't right. But in my mind, I feel like they are right because I dealt with A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So when I go all the way to F and I skip all the other letters, then, hey, you can't be mad at me about that. That's all I got. What you got for me, man?
Man, this is what I learned. I'm motherfucking magic. Like, low key, like, when I say I'm magic, I don't mean that on no cocky shit. I just mean I'm magic. Like, from a standpoint of there's spells I'm out here motherfucking casting to get to where I'm at in life. Like, I'm saying GH Hardy, firstborn male, Dorothea Hardy's baby boy, motherfucking magic. I'm out here casting spells for success. And I think that sometimes you got to watch the way you program yourself with the negative talk. And the more that I've talked from a positive speak standpoint, the more I shit on people. And not shitting on people like, oh, this person I want to shit on, but more so shitting on the people that was talking shit about Dorothea baby. More so shitting on the people who was talking about GH Hardy, firstborn male. From a standpoint of, I think that a lot of times we so quick to shit on ourselves. And we say like, I'm this, I'm that, and negatively, right? Oh, I can't just get it together. Or, no, motherfucker, I'm a winner. I've been speaking over my whole life. Motherfucker, when I didn't know what college was, for real, I thought Hillman College was a real college my whole life, all the way till I got to Edward Waters, nigga. That was my second year of college. You know what I mean? I didn't know what the fuck a FAFSA was. These motherfuckers said we had to do a FAFSA when I got to college on my first day with my daddy. You feel me? I didn't know what GIA was. I didn't know what a scholarship was. I didn't know what none of that shit was. I had a 2.2 high school GPA, motherfucker. It's magic. I got 2 motherfucking degrees. I make 6 figures. God bless America. Life is good. God is out here blessing me. My children are blessed. My children have what they need. You know what I mean? And I think that at the end of the day, when you really sit down and you think about it, you got to look at your life. And I look at my motherfucking life and I'm magic. Yeah, I'm cussing. I know I said I was trying to stop cussing, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm magic.
I love it when Georgie cusses.
If you motherfuckers listen to this podcast, y'all need to understand the own motherfucking magic in your own motherfucking life and put this shit to use. Speak over your motherfucking self, declare some shit in your motherfucking life, and put that shit to work, man. Stop wasting your motherfucking time. If I listen to a motherfucker tell me what I was supposed to be in the motherfucking projects in North Charleston at my auntie crib, looking at the motherfucking colonial prison in the motherfucking middle of the projects, and if I said this is all I'm supposed to be, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. But I thought bigger, I dreamed bigger, I did a whole bunch of shit, and I ain't even scraped the motherfucking bottom of what I'm really about to motherfucking do. So if you listening to this shit right now, I want you to take a second, look back at what the fuck you got going on, and understand that you motherfucking magic. And if you need a theme song, I want you to go listen to Vince Staples and Mustard, song Magic. And I want you to play that shit a few times. If you growing up in the projects, you grew up in a situation where the shit wasn't straight, your daddy was beating your mama motherfucking ass, whatever it was, you grew up with some bad shit, listen to that shit. Because what you're gonna understand is you gotta understand who you are. All of that shit is creating you to be who the fuck you're supposed to be. And that's what's gonna create the magic. All right. Let me get off that shit because I'm pumped up motherfucking right now. And I think it might be because I got to piss. All right, so.
Oh, God.
Last motherfucking question. And I'm going to go run piss after I ask this question. What do you want people to know about dating you? And that's for the motherfuckers that's on here that's dating.
Oh, I guess I can't speak on this.
My fucking phone is dry as hell. Ain't nobody checking for me. Ain't nobody trying to date me. But if anyone wanted to date me, this is a very wild ride. I'm just gonna be 110% honest. I mean, like that too.
Oh my God. Okay.
That's a whole nother podcast. It's a whole nother podcast. But no, seriously, I think that it can be very confusing dating me, and I know that because I'm a very sexual person. This is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about intimacy. I'm very passionate about passion. I'm very passionate about fucking. However, I also have sides of me where I just really want to sit with you and listen to you. You have a goal. I want to be a part of you attaining that. And I think a lot of times some men feel as though you have to be one or the other, right? Oh, you can't be this wonderful wife material if you're doing this and talking about this, right? So I think that my biggest advice for anybody trying to get to know me is to get to know me as a person. Like, I come with a very beautiful cherry on top, but I like my hair. Anyway, a very beautiful cherry on top, but just take the time to get to know me as a person. And you may think I'm cool. You may think I'm fucking nuts. I am fucking nuts, but I am wonderful. That is all.
That sounds like dynamic to me. I think we all are dynamic beings, and we should just live in our dynamicness. Yeah. So you can be cool and nuts at the same time.
Absolutely. And I will cut you. Listen, you know what? Above all else,
oh my God.
Let me be 100% honest. This is the most important thing. I have a very, very, very short fuse, and I have a very low tolerance for disrespect. So I have entered the stage in my life that if you are going to disrespect me, just recognize that I will hurt you as best I can. I have left grown men in tears. Okay. I have left grown ass men in motherfucking tears because when you go low, once again, I will dust the bowels of hell. I take pride in it. And if I can't do it that way, you might want to not be so close to me because I might swing on you. That is all. So don't
before we move on. So you said you don't want nobody to take you to the bowels of hell, but you will willingly go if somebody pushes you.
I don't want to go there. Like, I don't have a desire to do that. However, I am always positioned to do so if need be. Don't disrespect me. That's it.
All right. I'm gonna just give y'all a secret for dating me is there is 2 people that live in my head rent free. So you got to understand that. Second thing is you got to understand that I'm sweet. I'm sweet until I'm not. You see the commercial with the Sour Patch Kids? You see that commercial with the Sour Patch Kids? One side he's sweet, the other side I'm cutting all your motherfucking hair off. That's me. So don't play with me. And because I'm serious about me. I'm so serious about me. Like I don't want us to have no conflict. I don't want us to have no issue. I've been in a very straight place in my life. So if I let you in my life, understand that I really want you in my life. If I share with you what's going on with me mentally, spiritually, I really want you to be around. But the moment you show me any sign that you're the wrong motherfucker to trust, you're going to see that other side of that Sour Patch Kid. And understand that there will be no remorse on my end. So with that being said, God is working on me because I'm trying to deal with this vengeance that I got. God said, vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. However, I'm a pretty good motherfucker if you want to delegate it to somebody. So please understand that about me if you come play with me. Because understand one thing.
Oh, Lord.
Understand one thing about me. If you want to play with me, understand you're not going to like how I'm going to play with you. And understand I'm petty. I'm petty from your mama to your daddy to your firstborn motherfucking child. So please understand that. Texas Roadhouse. All right, so check this out.
Wait, pause. Let me add to yours.
I didn't even get a chance to go.
Right.
Oh, my bad.
He's just going through. Let me add to George's. Just recognize he also has friends with no goddamn common sense who would encourage him to do the fuck shit. By friends, I mean me mainly, because I ain't shit either. So just know. Might ride out with him, depending on what's going on. Just saying. All right, continue.
She gonna ride out because she want to ride with him. I'm gonna ride out because I'm gonna get it done.
She gonna ride out because she want to get it done. She don't recognize that, I don't need y'all to catch no charges. Y'all good. Y'all good. Y'all need a deviant with y'all.
What I noticed about both of y'all's in dating y'all, this whole don't cross me, y'all gonna turn into Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or Mrs. Hyde in your case, Jetta. I feel like at this point in time, I've outgrown that. I feel like karma's going to take care of you because what I have noticed.
Karma take too long. Karma take too long. Vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine.
Says the Lord, not you.
I'm a born sinner.
The Lord ain't tell me that.
Not you. But
the Lord didn't tell me that. The Lord told George that you got to think. The Lord ain't tell me that. I don't read the same doctrine y'all be reading. It belongs.
Well, here's the thing. I guess for me, I don't feel the need to put the time and energy into that. I think that's my time to kind of reflect and say, what did I do to put myself in this situation once again? So dating for me my phone is dry because once I say, hey, I'm not going for this or I'm not accepting it, and and they go do whatever, it is what it is. And I occupy my time. Like last weekend when Ken was like, hey, what y'all doing? I'm like, oh, I'm reading such and such book, or I'm doing blah, blah, blah. That's what I put my time and energy in. I have some things that I'm working on within myself. I'm manifesting some positivity in my life. I'm working on some projects. Communicating with great friends, spending time with my daughter, whatever the case might be. So dating me, you have to know that my family is important. My self-care is important. But if you are good to me, I am wholeheartedly 100% in. So again, those things that George and Ken touched on as far as like what a man's role is when I think back on past relationships that I've had, the times when I was just like doing all those things that a man loves for a woman to do, was because my needs were being met at that time. And for me, it doesn't take much. So for me, it's not, oh, let me buy her this $2,000 bag. I'm gonna tell you what it is. It is 2 a.m. and you come through with our favorite movie and our favorite ice cream. It's that. It's those things.
I'm sorry. Wait. I hate to interrupt you. I'm so sorry. My apologies. Did you say 2 a.m. come with my favorite movie and some motherfucking ice cream?
It's the gesture. It's just an example. It's just an example. Okay. It's the gesture. I can say, because I honestly can say that's one of my favorite things that I miss about where I used to live. It was, I was thinking about you, so let me slide through with this good Dixie Queen, and we gonna chill. And it's not always about sex. Now, sometimes it did lead to that, but I will say for the most part, it was the intimacy of hanging out. So I have this movie, and it's still my favorite movie to this day. It's one of, I know we talked about, do we test men? But one of my things that was my favorite thing, I have this movie, it's called Have Plenty. I don't know if y'all seen it. I gotta put you up on that when we get out. That is my favorite movie, hands down. It's right up there with Love Jones. Favorite movie. And those are the things that I need. Like, that's just kind of where I guess I just kind of feel like when it comes to getting back at somebody, I set the tone in the beginning, which I've heard from other women that's part of why my phone is dry. Because I'm telling you out the gate, like if you want to date other people, date other people. You don't have to bring it back to me. This does not have to be an open. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like there should be levels to your dating. There's your, I just met you, we're hanging out. There's the talking phase. Okay, so we're dating. But there should be a conversation as to whether, like, if we're dating, that doesn't mean that he's not dating other people. So I have to learn, I had to teach myself, I have to teach that as such. When we get to a point where we're dating exclusively, then that's something that's different. For myself, I have to not worry about what he's doing when he's not with me. Now, in that discussion, when we get to a point where, okay, well, Tam, I want to be with you, I want to be serious, then that's when, okay, so look, the whole, I'm gonna go do this with my baby, but it's you, baby, and baby mama. That's one of my pet peeves. Because you, baby, and baby mama doesn't require spending the night. Co-parenting doesn't require spending the night. Co-parenting doesn't have to consist of candlelit dinners or, these so-called. So it's certain things that I have experienced that I have to let me lay this out in the forefront. And it's not always the man. I have former friends who feel like this has to be this way because I have his child. So for me, I'm like, in dating somebody, especially somebody with a small child, what does that look like for you? So we can establish what your boundaries are with your ex, and what your co-parenting is like, and what that means for you and I. So I put that out on the table. So I don't like this, and this. Yeah. I don't expect for you to sit in my face 24/7. I don't expect you to sit in my face 24/7, but I do expect some communication. I'm not the type of chick that's like, oh, you didn't text me back within 10 minutes, so I know you cheating. I don't do that.
Tammy, just let me slide in. Let me slide in real quick.
Go ahead.
Y'all taking me too fast today. Just to everybody. What I hear you say, number one, can we go back to the 2 a.m. Coming through to watch a movie? Like, Tammy, I love you to death, but I'm sorry if some woman's son wakes me out of my beautiful slumber if you waking me up, you got to bring more than it's a goddamn movie to my house. I plan on getting all of the lovins, all of it.
So let me say this because sometimes it's not about that.
At 2 o'clock in the morning.
Hold on, because everything can't be based on sex. Now you've heard some of the things. Hold on, you've heard some of the things that Ken and George have expressed. Why can't it be that he's going through something
at 2 o'clock?
And hold on, and he might not be ready to be like, man, I gotta tell you, blah blah, because men are different from women. We are emotional creatures. We gonna share whatever. We get diarrhea at the mouth often. For men, that's different. So maybe for him, maybe his process is, let me just be in her presence. Maybe to ease his mind, it's being in my presence. Maybe it's watching whatever movie, even if it's not a chick flick. Maybe it's one, because I don't have to watch what's the movie? None of the Fast and Furious series, because after the first one I was cool. But let's just say for him, he wants to watch Fast and Furious 15
at 2 o'clock in the morning.
At 2 a.m. Because he's going through whatever. That's cool. My door is always open to you because we have that type of relationship. Yes, he can come over. And if that leads to some fucking, then I'm cool with it too.
So wholesome. I aspire to
So you've never had that?
I don't want
that. The sweetest person in the world.
I don't want that. If you are not my husband and you are not my whole ass husband, don't wake me up at no 2 o'clock in the morning. Unless you're trying to.
So I have a question for you then, because see, again, I feel like this kind of circles back to some of the things that Ken has touched on, is why men are not vulnerable with us in this sense. So you mean to tell me that if he's going through something and it's 4 a.m., he can't call you?
Absolutely he can.
Can he not come
to my motherfucking house at 2 o'clock in the morning? You're not gonna wake me if something going on. Oh, baby, my car had broke down and I'm out here in the desert by myself. Can you come? Absolutely. If I feel as though that would be reciprocated, absolutely. However, I want to come to your house at 2 o'clock in the morning to watch a movie.
So in a situation where it's being reciprocated, you're not doing that.
I ain't calling nobody at 2 o'clock.
10 Cons wrote a song called In Your Life. And the song is called 10 Cons. They wrote a song, it's called In Your Life. They said, what you need is dick in your life. That's what I feel like at 2 and 3 and 4
2 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Maybe I'm just thinking about it wrong.
I might have some problems. I might have some anxieties. I might be downtrodden. I might be wore down. I might be oppressed. But 2 o'clock in the morning,
dick sucking hours.
I'm saying.
And if that's what it is, but my question to you is, you're saying he cannot call you at 2 a.m. I don't give a fuck.
Unless this is my man coming.
That's what I'm saying. As my man.
To bring me dick. I'm sorry, I'm not. If
all my problems come with dick after 2 a.m.
That's my thing. Listen, baby, I'm going through something. He could be going through something as soon as
your vagina is going to rejuvenate me and refresh me and bring me
in my mind. That's what
course.
I'm thinking. He could be going through everything, but you calling me at 2 o'clock. You going through it, but you want to go through this pussy.
Yeah, I ain't never called nobody at 2 a.m. with a problem that dick couldn't resolve.
Hallelujah.
Giving them some dick, not me taking none, because I don't get it.
You got to go back to Chris Brown. Chris Brown says 3 in the morning. You know I'm on it.
Right. Tammy, if listen, because I don't want you out here in these streets just unknowingly. Oh my God, my man need me.
I appreciate you being a loving parent.
First of all, no. I said once upon a time ago. Okay. I ain't answering the phone for no motherfucking body. Negroes be texting at 9:45. That's too close to 10 p.m. We ain't got shit to talk about at this
real
point.
Close to DS hours, I'm telling you.
Yeah, anything after 10 p.m. we fucking like so. And I think that people got to have some type of guideline. And Tammy, my partner, however, I'm not calling her after 10 p.m.
Nope.
I do want to add one more thing in with the young child thing. So people hate when I say this, but I got to be honest. I call it baby daddy rule. Until the child is 6, I firmly believe that the parents are still fucking in some way, shape, or form.
Facts.
Never. Absolutely.
Facts.
Facts.
Absolutely motherfucking no.
Facts. Motherfucking facts.
Even if you're not, even if you're not, there is some type of sexual tension.
Absolutely.
Facts. First of all, Jetta, you and I are unicorn, so the shit don't apply to us because I ain't fucked mine after that. However, every nigga I have ever dealt with that had a kid, every last motherfucking one, every last one, that's that shit. Now, and let me tell you, in my prime, that's why I say I have to let karma take care of itself. When I was in love, like beyond in love, my dude's son lived with him. Mama was not present. Chick used to call, such and such and so. So one time she called, it was clearly after 9 o'clock. I answered the phone because he was preparing for grown-up time. And I let her know, well, it's after 9 o'clock. Your son is asleep. How can I help you? Well, I just want to, nope, you can't talk to him. It's after 9 o'clock. Business hours are from 8, technically until 7. Because once your child goes to bed, it's nothing for y'all to talk about. Well, he and I are friends. Y'all are no longer friends. Y'all are co-parenting. And your conversation should be limited to said child. I was that type of girlfriend because I didn't play this shit. And the moment she thought she was going to slide in, I had to make it hell on her. And I was like, let me tell you something about this little young Thundercat. And every nigga that she liked. Let me tell you something. I don't fool with Mississippi like that, but we was going to the club in Mississippi to let her know I am not the one or the two. Let me show you real quick about mine. If you catch a person in the right moment, ooh, remember when? And don't you think motherfuckers be going for this shit? And not to throw y'all under the bus, it's men. A lot of men are weak when it comes to this shit. It ain't a motherfucking thing that somebody I had a child with can say to make this get wet. Not shit. Nothing. However, I guarantee you, if I want to, I can go back and fuck them. I guarantee motherfucking and it's sad because I don't even like them. However, like I said, every dude, let me tell you something. There are 2 dudes that I dealt with throughout my 20s. The first one I just told you about. The second one, we always had to break up because he had to go back and screw his baby.
Here she go. God damn it, you traumatizing me.
I can't see my daughter unless I'm supplying her with some. So I believe it. Now,
Tammy's been traumatizing me with this for the last 15 years of my life, y'all. So y'all get to hear this sugar honey ice tea.
First of all, you can't count it's been 16. Nonetheless, all I'm saying is that's fact. And not to mention, when I first met Jetta was like, don't talk to them dudes down in Louisiana, blah, blah, blah. Then I told her, I was like, oh, and he has a small child. Don't you know she was right? Because how we stopped talking, it was the baby's first birthday. And when I say this dude clown because, well, the baby mama wanted to, I was like, either there's still some emotions there or they're still having sex. And after we had that one conversation about the situation, we ain't talked since. Because I was right. I just don't feel like it's nothing that y'all have to say or do in co-parenting that means that y'all have to spend the night together. George, when you go get your children, are you staying the night at said baby mama's house? Please let me know.
Oh Lord.
No.
Thank you.
No. That's different. Like spending the night is different. That's a bit much, but I mean,
spending the night being in the same. Let me tell you something. And George co-parents well. So that is why when certain men say things to me like, well, I gotta fly there to do this, you're full of shit. Let me tell you something. I had a dude tell me, oh, I'm gonna take you out for your birthday. I'm gonna take you out the day before. No, nigga. My birthday is February 14th, not the 13th, not the 15th. So this person said he was flying out of town to go see his daughter conveniently on the day of Valentine's Day. I'm that slow. Well, yeah, we doing something in her school the day of. Can I tell you that she was? So what they doing at a school at the daycare? Because she ain't in school because she's nonetheless, but that's cool. So that's why look, I don't mind. I mean, it has kids because clearly I have a 13-year-old daughter. However, when we get to talking about somebody that's under a certain age, I have to pass every time because I just feel like a situation occurs every single time where it's like that shit is questionable. Because if I ever told a man some shit like, well, you know, I'm going to Arizona to drop off my 13-year-old daughter, but I'm staying the night. You don't find that suspicious? I'm just saying.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Exactly.
It is. It is suspicious. Like, that's what one of the things is, because I do have children with 3 women, one of the things I deal with is, so you don't feel nothing for none of your kids' moms no more? No. And they don't believe me, because they'll be like, you gotta still be hunching one of them. No, I'm good.
But I think the dynamic of even if I didn't know you the way that I know you, I do feel like the dynamic of your relationships with them, even no matter how cordial you are, I still feel like you handle it almost like a business. And I hate to say that to people, because I have a friend who's like, well, you don't have to do that. So I said, it's even if you didn't fall out on bad terms, even if you didn't break up on bad terms, it's a business at this point. And the goal is to raise a successful adult. So it doesn't have to be, say George and I have a child together. Okay, well, I just feel like in order for this to work, in order for us to sit down and talk about little Timmy's grades, we need to talk over a candlelight dinner at Ruth's Chris. No, we don't. In order for us to celebrate Christmas, George, I feel like you should wake up at my house with little Timmy to open gifts. No, we don't.
Look, it is business for me. I'm just trying to do business until these kids is 18. Other than that, that's it. And I think that's been best for me and mine as they go into relationships, get married and all that other stuff. I think it's great. Now, the funny part is for dudes don't understand that it is business. I'm active, but I'm distant at the same time. Like, I'm not trying to be in y'all business. I'm not trying to be super cool with you. Now, understand, we family until she says she's done with you. Now, once she says she's done with you, I'm just saying, like, anything extra you do, you might get a little smoke behind it. But I think that's the hard part for a lot of men and women in those situations. And I think that's the reason why, like, I don't really try to play like that. Like, and I think that, that's the struggle. And I think that, honestly, I think if people are really totally serious about it, I think what you got to ask is, how did their relationship end? If their relationship ended because somebody did some fuck shit, they still fucking. Yeah. If their relationship, no. So see, Jetta, this is what I need you to understand. If the man did some fuck shit, right? And the woman has standards, it's over. But if the man did some fuck shit and the woman doesn't have standards, he get that pussy whenever he wants to.
Whenever he wants it. And he's not lying. It's the truth. You're definitely not lying, because even though that was not the case for me, I've had friends who've done this shit. I've dated guys who it's like, and he say, and that's why, like you said, I had to start paying attention to how these men spoke on their ex-wives or the mothers of their children. Those are things that I had to start paying attention to, because that tells you a lot. So I knew, and it's the norm. I understand what you're saying, Jetta, but let me tell you something. Many, many moons ago, my son's dad said it to me, man, all my homeboys still smash their baby mama. And I was young, and I was like, wow.
I would quite literally rather drag my pussy on a hot July Louisiana road than fuck my ex-husband.
But that's also because he openly played you, though.
Yes.
Wow.
This is true.
Because
thank you, George.
I'm just saying, because if there was if you could look at him, if he didn't openly play with you like that, there's still something about him. When you see him, there's the side of whatever that made you go into a relationship with him. You see, and you be like, oh man. Or when you see him with Bray and they're having a moment, you be like, oh, that's why I used to fuck with him. See, the problem is with most women is, if a dude ain't do you dirty for real and you see too many moments like that, you'll give some sympathy pussy up. See, but because of the situation that you had, you ain't trying to get that man no sympathy pussy because he was out here being a ho. No offense, not trying to tell your business. And then married her.
Fine.
Which the fact that she got the upgrade package from side bitch to main bitch blows my motherfucking mind.
She wasn't the only side bitch at the time. Technically, she wasn't the one I left him behind. But that's neither here nor there.
But main side bitch.
Ooh,
but
Lord
anyways,
mercy.
but you know, that's the thing though. And I think that a lot of times that's one of the things you struggle with.
Yeah.
All right. But this has been a fun and eventful day talking. This is actually funny because, all right, so let me tell y'all something about this. This podcast came up because we got a group chat. And the group chat is undefeated. Because if you put it in the group chat, we're going to talk about it for the most part. There's some things that we have not talked on this podcast because I have not dropped it in the group chat yet. But I think that sometimes that when we put stuff in the group chat, it's so fun because it leads to great conversations. I like the conversation that we had today because it's relevant. It's prevalent in the group of the age group that we're in. I think it's so funny though, because it seems like a lot of the young folks are having a lot of these issues earlier than what we're having them. Because the conversation we having now, I know a lot of 23-year-old and 24-year-olds that are having this conversation. And I'll be
the
like,
same conversation.
I'll be like, why the fuck y'all having this conversation? But
the same conversation.
But I think that it goes from a standpoint of things are changing, things are evolving, things are happening a lot quicker. But I think that's also the reason why a lot of these 20-year-olds look like they're 30-year-olds. They look like they are peers, but everybody on this podcast who's damn near 40, we all look in our 20s. But that's neither here nor there. Don't let the gray hair fool you. But, and I'm talking about me because they ain't got no gray hair. But you know, I think it's one of those things that as things are growing and things are changing and things are becoming a little bit more prevalent, we need to have conversations about them. I think that the younger folks, you need to find older folks that can give you a little game. And then when they can give you that game, put that game to use, because it's really a struggle out here. Because what I find it is a lot of the young folks, their parents ain't shit and their parents ain't giving them no game. Like a lot of the game I got from my mom. My mom been dead since I was 30 years old. That's hard to say. Mom been dead for 7 years already, damn near 8 years. And what I learned is most of the game I got from her, and I got that game before I was 21 years old. And I think that a lot of the young folks, their parents aren't giving them no game. That's why they find themselves in situations or taught lessons and bought lessons. Them kids deciding to go buy these lessons for themselves versus letting their parents teach it to them. And that's what, if you're a young person and you younger than 30 years old and you listening to this podcast and you hear any of the shit that Tammy talking about, you hear any of the shit that Bridgetta talking about, you hear the shit that I'm talking about, Kenny talking about, and you hear this shit and you be like, oh, I hear it, but you still go out and do some dumb shit, you's a fucking asshole because I just gave you a taught lesson and bought lesson. I'm giving you the game for free. I'm giving you the game for free. See, I can give you this game for free and cost you no money. Or you can go experience this shit, get your little heart broke, or go fuck your money up behind this lesson. To the young men, I'm trying to tell y'all this. Look, it's fun. I understand how it's big fun to be fucking on a whole bunch of bitches. However, I'm gonna tell y'all this. The best times of my life is when I've been in monogamous relationships with women, because what I've learned is I've doubled and tripled my money, because like one thing Kenny says is you give something to a woman, she'll multiply it. So every time I've been in relationships, even when it's not been the best woman for me, they've doubled and tripled my money. And what do I mean by doubled and tripled? What I mean is they've a lot of things that I would have spent money on, I didn't spend money on. Because I had somebody else in my household to check me, to be like, oh, we don't have to do that because we can do this. We don't have to do that because we can do this. And every woman that's been in my life at that time period that I had them for my life, they were perfect for that situation. Now I'm at a point in life, I'm trying to find the person for the point in life that I'm at right now. And I think that if you're a young man and you're listening to this podcast, you need to understand that for me, I'm always going to give you game to save you on the taught lessons and bought lessons. And if I bring young ladies on this podcast, they're giving you a female perspective to help save your ass a little bit of stress. If you're a young woman and you're listening to this podcast, understand that these ladies don't live life. a little bit. They're mothers, they're professionals, they're working, they're having success, they're very successful. So let them give you a little game. If your mama ain't gave you the game, understand they can give you a little game to actually help you out. So that's one thing I want y'all to really get. If you listen to this full podcast in its entirety, I hope you had fun. I hope you laughed. I hope you cackled, but I hope your ass learned something. Don't be dumb as fuck out here. Because I don't want you out here looking stupid, being 40 years old, talking about, damn, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. I heard that shit on a podcast 18 years ago and I ain't do shit to fix it. With your dumb ass. All right. With that being said, ladies, do y'all have anything before we go? Before we sign out, Tammy, I'll start with you and then we'll go to Ms. Jetta.
Just to, double back on what you were saying, I hope that the things that we're sharing with everyone, younger people in our age demographic, I hope that, you can learn from this. I mean, I used to feel like, woe is me, it's just me. With all things in life, whether it's relationships, parenting, just things in life, period. So it helps to have an effective friend group and, just learning yourself and getting to know yourself and knowing what works best for you. But definitely, you are absolutely right. I've had a couple of conversations with young adults in that age demographic, and I was like, why are you guys already experiencing this? Like, it's not good. So taught lessons and bought lessons, as George said, let's stick with the taught ones. Sometimes it's not even that people aren't giving them the game. Sometimes they just don't feel the need to listen. And I always tell people I probably be a lot further in life if someone taking the time out to take me to the side and say, hey, do this and not that. So, but you live and you learn. So I appreciate George and Ken and Jetta, and I want to also say, y'all, our little text group, our chat is live and a whole mess. It's hilarious. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that we touch on here in the pod, but it's a mess. A mess. I mean, my phone, I'll be at work and I'm like, damn, I'm working on a report. I come back to my phone, 45 text messages. What the hell y'all talking about? It's lit though. It's lit. So that's all I got.
By far my favorite group chat in my phone. By fucking far. The only thing that I have is to kind of piggyback off of both what George and Tammy said, that we sold drugs, so you don't have to. So yes, listen to us, because we have gone through a lot, and we learned many, many things. And like Tammy said, I wish I had a space where someone would have taken me under their wing and have these conversations with me, and just kind of let me know the real, because I grew up, I was a Disney fan, Prince Charming was coming and all these niggas is looking Prince Charming like today, right? So just had someone just had a real honest conversation with me about just navigating relationships, and really focusing in on what it is that you actually want versus what's coming at you. As always, check out Say It To Me Nice podcast on all podcasting platforms. George kind of toggles between GH2 and Dr. Gas Can Man. And I absolutely love it when he slides into Dr. Gas Can Man. So if you like it when George does that, that's my entire podcast, a bunch of fuck shit. And I cuss.
Oh.
And a lot. And I talk about sex and fucking, and it's great.
Oh.
And intimacy and love and relationships too.
But
now I want to tell y'all, like, the thing about Bridgetta that always makes me mad is like she be talking about sex and all that other shit, that bullshit. But she'll be talking about some shit that will be grade A fuckery from a standpoint of, she'll be like, oh, but I understand. So check this out. So I called her about some shit, right? Where I was just like, I was talking about a post that Gilly the Kid posted, where Gilly the Kid said, I'm the cable box, my wife is the remote. Meaning Meaning, when I say it's go time, it's fucking go time, and we fucking. And Jetta was like, I understand, but I just don't get that. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is what I've learned at the great, wonderful age of 37 years old is
ego age.
my person that I'm gonna be with. If we fucking 2 times a week, I got a problem. Because that's 104 times in a year.
George.
So if your head hurt and you tired, hopefully nothing wrong with your mouth. Because I'm just saying, like, I don't need all these problems. Because look, there's a possibility that my dick might stop working at 60. So I'm in my prime fucking years. I got 23 years of good dick that I know I can put out on this earth.
Oh my God.
So
if
if you
gonna stop working at 60, like
I'm just saying, like, I done did a whole lot of drugs back in the day before I got my life together and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, if I got 23 more years of good dick to give out, I'm not limiting myself to 102 times a year. So the pussy need to be ready for me if you're my person. So my person, if you listening to this podcast and you hear this, understand, I don't want to hear your head hurt. I'm just saying, put your mouth to work. It's okay. If your pussy tired, your mouth is okay. You can lay there. I just hold your mouth still. I'll be all right.
Oh.
And Jetta's about to hit us with some old hypothetical bullshit that every man that's listening to this is gonna cringe when she say this shit. Yes. Half of the women gonna cringe, the other half is gonna be like, I totally hear what Dr. Gas Can Man is saying. And this is Dr. Gas Can Man talking. This is not GH2. Because GH2 wouldn't say this shit because it's too toxic.
Yes. So what GH2 would say is that if there is an issue that is preventing you from wanting to be on for pop pussy for a real nigga.
Yeah.
If there is something going on, address it, communicate it. If you are not into the sex, if the sex is not giving what it's supposed to give, and it looks and feels like a chore, communicate that so y'all can take some classes, go see a sex therapist, sexuality counselor, something like that. If it's your medication regimen, if it's your diet, whatever the case is, go figure out what the problem is. If you have any underlying trauma, make sure you have that addressed, and your body, your choice. You can say no, but while you cultivate other types of intimacy. Okay, that's what I'm going to say.
Question.
Yes.
So at our age, are we not communicating that?
A lot of people are still not communicating that. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. Like me personally, if it's not good, that's not giving it. That's not it. So
my person already knows that the dick is A1 and the tongue is A1 and I eat ass is A1, so she ain't got to worry about that. So go and pop that pussy for a real nigga.
First off, just because you have had glowing reviews.
No. It's not about the glowing reviews.
Oh, jeez.
It's the ooh. That's what I'm saying. In the words of Eddie Murphy. Ooh.
I'm
That's
sick
bitch.
of you. I'm sick of you. Oh my God. Sammy, get George. Just get George. I can't.
With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. Hey, if you enjoyed this podcast, I hope you loved it. I hope you like it. I hope you want more of it. GH2 Podcast. I am Dr. Gas Man, BKA GH Hardy. I was joined today by Ms. Bridgetta Giles, BKA Say It To Me Nice Podcast on every type of social media you can think of. I was also joined by my bestie, Miss Tammy, BKA soon to come, talking with Tammy. We're gonna get it together. She ain't got to worry about it. I'm producing it. All she got to do is show up and talk. I'll get everything else going. Talking with Tammy podcast coming. I'm not gonna give you her social media right now because she's a professional, so we'll worry about that later when we do the ones for the podcast. You can find me on every social media platform. I am Dr. Gas Can Man, Dr. Gas Can Man, Dr. Gas Can Man. And then if you catch me on Snapchat, fuck whoever it was that took my shit, but it's Dr. Space __ gas can man. You can find me on Snapchat. I will accept your shit. It's cool. But come fuck with us on social media. Have fun. Have fun. Understand that you are entering a all fuckery zone for the most part. If you do Say It to the Nice podcast or you do GH2 Podcast on Instagram, because I do have that one, but I also have the Dr. Gas Can Man stuff. Dr. Gas Can Man on Instagram is very family friendly, so you ain't got to worry about it. However, GH2 Podcast, don't worry, I got an Instagram for that. We're gonna have fun with that too. So with that being said, we love you. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, Pocket Cast, whatever the hell it is you listening to us on. We appreciate you. And guess what? If you ain't like the podcast, at me and say that shit. All right, peace.
Bye, guys.